the New York State College Affordability Plan that is before the House is one that deals with a very complex problem that faces both students and families across our state. It is one that, well, we have placed so much focus on the education portion of college that sometimes we have not placed enough emphasis on the business side. What is happening to students in terms of cost, debt, and affordability. This chamber has led the way. It's not something new that we have discovered. We have passed in 2002 legislation that provided tuition tax credits. We have held hearings on this very problem in 2008. And prior to that, we set up opportunities for the creation of what we call the 529 plans to allow parents, grandparents, and benefactors to put money aside for their children, grandchildren, or friends. So we have been very focused on this. In 2008, when Governor Cuomo was the Attorney General, this House worked with him to pass very important legislation on this whole loan problem and how in colleges preferences were given to certain lending agencies. So under the slate legislation, we really got in and made sure that students were not incurring debt that they should not. Today, students on the average are carrying, for an undergraduate program, something like $26,000 in debt. If they go to graduate school and go to law school, it is obviously much higher. One of the things that I do, I go around the chamber to the young attorneys, the young counsels who work for us, and I say, would you mind telling me what your debt is? And if you go to law school, graduate from law school, you're talking about $100,000 debt. $100,000. This means that individuals are postponing a relationship, buying a house, getting a new car, because their debts and paying off their debts are very critical. Under this plan, we broaden the measure that we passed in 2002. I think the first state in the nation, and well before the federal government, passed tuition tax credit or deduction. And so under the present law, each student can get a $10,000 deduction or a $400 credit. And we are doubling that over a 5-year period to $20,000 and $800. We add a very interesting component. Senator Stavisky, if you just bear with me, maybe I will have answered your question. A very, very innovative stay in New York tax credit. Students must graduate from a New York State institution in 4 years or less, complete 20 hours of community service, and then they must reside and work in New York State for 4 years after graduation. If a student worked through their baccalaureate program, we give them a 5th year. So this student would get a $3,000 tax credit. We have, in years gone by, introduced legislation in this House for a prepaid college savings plan, and this is part of the program. The third piece is very innovative, a linked deposit student loan program that would make $100 million to reduce the percentage that a student pays in a loan. The median average is 6.67%. We would lower it using this program to 3.67%. And the last thing, which is very critical and builds on the SLATE program, is the Student Lending Transparency Program. It has always been our belief in this chamber that disclosure and information empowers the consumer. And here we make sure that through our new Department of Financial Services, that information is put onto the computer so that parents understand all the information about the loans, the rates, the period of time that they would be carrying this, et cetera. This builds on SLATE and is critically important.